grilling about next year, because all the Castrol Perkins fans at home want to know who's going to take the seats.
Well, yeah, well, if they keep tuned for a few more weeks, they'll find out.
Now, looking at this fight from the back, Mark Scaife is up to 19th position already after starting from 28th, but Craig Lowndes is stuck right back there in 31st place. Not much sure the problem with the Double O Motorsport Falcon. I would have expected those two to move up pretty much together. But Lowndes is right down the back of the pack, and he's staying there at the moment. It's the battle between Neil Crompton and Cameron McConville. A little bit further back in the order. Crompton's in 10th, McConville's in 11th, so it's just outside the top 10. And just about everyone's made their compulsory tyre change, except for our race leader, Rick Kelly. And we've just heard from race control that Todd Kelly in car 15, the Kmart Commodore, will serve a drive-through penalty as a result of turning Craig Lowndes around before that safety car. So there'll be another of the TWR Australia Commodores trundling down pit lane sooner than later. Rick Kelly is out there leading this race, but he's still to make his compulsory stop, the young lion. This is Mark Scaife's Commodore working its way through the field.
Yeah, that's actually Murphy that we're on board with, because behind him was Jason Bright. Paul Wheel, some troubles for him in the K&J Thermal. He just has to spin it around. He had a great performance yesterday, moved up around 20 places. And Stephen Ellery goes off at turn 6 as well, cold corner.
So the order: Kelly, Murphy, Bright, Bow, Bernard, Morris, Todd Kelly, who'll soon be peeling off to serve his drive-through. We go on board with Mark Scaife. He's got his head down. He's up to 17th place after going right to the back of the field as a result of two incidents. One, a drive-through, and then a wild moment down a cold corner where he almost beats the car in the sand trap. But he's making pretty strong progress with the field so far.
Well, he has to do what Lowndes did yesterday. In front of him is Garth Tander, and then another 14 other cars. Lowndes just, like you said, Mark, got his head down and started taking aim at people and peeled them off one by one. That's exactly what the job is for Mark Scaife this time around. We're getting to see something different for our championship leader, Scaife. He's had it all go his own way in the first 5 rounds, but now some big blips, drive-through penalties, and off-course excursion, and all of a sudden Mark Scaife, as he's back against the wall, he's already got Tander though, so he goes up one more position.
I'd expect him to make pretty rapid progress through the field, though. These cars have been demonstrably faster than anyone else this weekend. And it's interesting seeing him in a situation now where he's got to really carve his way through the traffic. It was probably easier in race 1 because he was sitting out in front and he could really drive a conservative tyre management strategy, but now he's really got to work for his money.
The halfway mark of the VB 300 of race 2 as Todd Kelly rejoins our race. Our leader will be Greg Murphy, but the challenge now is all up to Mark Scaife. Rick Kelly's yet to pit, so it'll be Murphy, Bright, John Bow, the best of the Fords. David Bernard has had a good weekend. Paul Morris is up there. Longhurst, Crompton, McConville and McLean. Come back and join us. We're at Barbagallo Raceway in Western Australia. Greg Murphy is our race leader, and just take a look at the crowd here in WA. They've really come in numbers on lap 23 of 42, race 2 of round 6 of the V8 Supercar Championship.
Yeah, it's got to be said they've done a terrific job with Barbagallo Raceway in the 12 months since we were last here. The improvements to the pit facilities, they've done a lot of work on the curbing, and the crowd have come out here in droves. In fact, I was hearing chat this morning, this is the biggest motorsport event ever in the history of WA. So the V8 Supercar fans love their motorsport, and when the circus visits here, they certainly support it. Here's the battle for the lead. Greg Murphy and Jason Bright on board the Kmart Commodore. Murph did a fantastic job yesterday to fight his way through the field. Got up to challenging for the lead at one stage. So the Kmart car using its tyres very effectively. You can see the telemetry in the bottom left-hand of your screen showing road speed there. Oh, look at this. Very, very close. Jason Bright under brakes up toward Cat Corner. And Mark Scaife has had another excursion off the track. He's beached it big time at Nova's turn. That's the corner coming onto pit straight, and he is well and truly off in the sand trap. Well, what's been happening here with HRT, Larry? Isn't it amazing how you can have such an amazing season and then it all turns to this?
Yes, it doesn't take long to go wrong. We don't know why he went off. He may have just plain cooked it, but he's never going to get out of there, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, realistically, that's the sight that everyone wanted to see, the door open at HRT, because it's now wide open for someone to step in and stop this incredible streak of Mark Skaife. He won race 1, so he's certainly still in the hunt to take the overall round. But right now, Greg Murphy is leading this race, and they'll all know that this is the best chance they're going to get in the first 6 rounds of the season to knock this bloke off his pedestal. Mark Skaife still sitting inside the car.
Here's the Nintendo replay. One of the Castrol Commodores, I believe it was Russell Ingall. We're hearing from one of our observers. He was trying an outside move on Russell, and he's come off second best. Here's another shot from inside. He's way offline there, Larry.
Yes, it just didn't have enough black road under him, and yeah, Russell won that little fight.
Well,
back under safety car conditions as a result of that. Skaife's still stuck in there, so...
Yeah, it's got nothing at the top of the field at all, and then plenty at the bottom.
well, what an incredible turn of events. Craig Lowndes, he came storming through the field. He'd actually gone down a lap as a result of that incident when Todd Kelly turned him around. And Mark Skaife is off the track as well.
Is there anything about this Johnson thing? Obviously not.
It's Russell talking to his crew as they go around under safety car conditions.
Especially if it's risk of that.
So there's been all sorts of drama.
They caught me with a 22-second penalty for something trivial, and this dude passes like 5 cars under yellows when there's safety cars on the track, like far more.
Yeah, well, Russell not very happy, obviously, talking to his crew on the radio. As the Monroe safety car leads the field around, it's been drama after drama in this race. In the VB 300, what an incredible turn of events.
You wouldn't have thought that it would change so quickly, given that Mark Skaife was so dominant again in race 1, but today is a completely different story. Rick Kelly is still out there throwing the dice as far as compulsory tyre stops go, but let's go down through the field. You've got Neil Crompton inside a top 10 position at the moment. There's Ingall in 13th position. What more can possibly unfold on Western Australia's Barbagallo Raceway circuit? We'll find out right after this break on Network 10, your home of motorsport. Welcome back to the VB 300. Some 70,000 people across the weekend have jammed into Barbagallo Raceway, and they're witnessing today an extraordinary race, the likes that we certainly haven't seen so far this season. Back under green flag conditions, Rick Kelly still is yet to pit, and the pit window closes at lap 30. There's Brad Jones coming through. He's been one of the big movers, up 19 spots. Stephen Johnson has also gone up 20 spots. Those guys are in 11th and 12th respectively, but for the first time in a long time, Mark Skaife is out of the equation. Who will step up? It's a big question to ask because Skaife is out of this race. V8supercar.com.au is the official website of the V8 Supercar Championship. You can get everything you need in there. Go and check it out. When you're online, also check out rpmlive.tv as they come around turn 6, lap 28 of 42. Fantastic conditions as John Bowe comes up over the rise down the main straight, 250 kilometres plus. Jason Bright, amazingly, the only Holden Racing Team Commodore left out there.
It's been a great effort by John Bowe and the Aussie Mail Ford team to get him up to such a competitive position. He's right in the thick of this. So too David Bernard and Paul Morris in the Ceramate Wines Commodore. This is the most competitive race we've seen so far from this team. And they're still holding Rick Kelly out there. They're getting very close to the close of the compulsory pit stop window. That closes on lap 30, so I think they'll be bringing in the whole Young Lions Commodore very, very soon. 19-year-old's had a great run out in the front so far, but as you can see by that, he's got to make his compulsory tyre change.
You've got to take risks, don't you, Larry? I mean, when you're in that position like Rick Kelly, I mean, you may as well just have a crack at it.
Well, look, he had the pace car come out before he'd made his stop, and there's nothing you can do about it except you're going to be down a lap eventually, and he's just pressed on.
Hard under brakes down into Nova's corner. John Bowe in the Aussie Mail Falcon, the Tasmanian veteran, doing a terrific job out there at the moment. My man, he wouldn't be happy at the moment as Paul Morris has a run along the inside. But David Menard hard down into brakes. The Queenslander goes up and picks up another spot. I was going to say one man he probably wouldn't be as happy is Jeff Gregg, HRT team manager. He's with Baz.
Jeff, that's really a shame. Scapey was flying.
Yeah, Barry, it's one of the hardest braking circuits in Australia here, and obviously he's trying to make some time up after the penalty. So he just overcooked the brakes and lost the pedal coming into, you know, the last turn, so he went straight ahead.
Yeah, but he was talking after and saying the throttle jammed open.
Yeah, well, I think what happened when he went into all the sand, it's got up into under the manifold. It's obviously jammed open all the linkages, so the race is over, really.
Well, if you've how many laps to run? At least you might have some tyres that are in better nick for the last one.
Yeah, look, we'll obviously get it fixed for the last race, and if you can do the same again, probably not just as hard on the brakes, it, you know, might come up and get some good points.
He hasn't done bad this season, has he?
No, he's done well. I mean, it was a shame on the infringement, but that's the way it goes.
Never mind. Thanks. Jeff.
Rick Kelly comes in to serve his compulsory tyre change. He's finally come in at the last possible moment. Go to Commodore, so he's enjoyed his moment in the sun, leading this one for a pretty healthy period of time. But that's going to drop him right down the order now. It's an incredible battle group in the top 10. Some names we haven't seen there before. Murphy, Bright, Bow up there, Morris, Bernard, Longhurst, Cameron McConville well placed in 7th. Cameron McLean, the VIP Pet Foods Ford. This is the best showing by the Queensland team so far. There he is there in the distinctive black and yellow car. Cameron McConville will be enjoying this turn of speed in the Lansvale Racing Team Commodore. Had a shocking outing on the streets of Canberra, and they've really turned it around here. The car looking strong. Neil Crompton in there too. He's having a strong run in the 00 Motorsport Falcon. Brad Jones in there too. So 2 Aussie male Fords in the top 10. And you can see the amount of cut and thrust going on here. This is real wheel-to-wheel racing. I guess with a circuit like this, Larry, only 2.4 k's in distance, it tends to compress the action.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, you're going to have to drive real close and press on if you want to try to pass guys. I see Russell's really stuck there at the back and doing a bit more pressing.
Oh!
As I say, he was very close to Stephen, and
Simon Will's a victim of that as well. So Russell's gone off. Stevie Johnson gets tangled up in it.
I think Russell's gone off further off there. He is just rejoining, so he went right way off into the scenery. He might have picked up a little bit of dirt in the scoop there, but you can see the battle damage along the side of the Castrol Commodore. He's really been in the wars today, the Enforcer, all weekend. In fact, he got pinged yesterday for an incident with David Bernard. And every time he starts to get a turn of speed, he gets taken out. Let's have a look at the replay again on the Nintendo replay. And here's this battle, Larry, between the Shell Ford. And what happens here?
well, he clearly was passing Stephen Johnson and got the nose of the car well ahead of Stevens, and in that case Stephen is supposed to, under the rules, give way. Well, he certainly didn't, and interesting to see though if Stephen gets a penalty.
There's been plenty of penalties getting thrown around this weekend.
Yes, and some of them maybe not necessarily right.
Here's the battle for the lead, and it's been on since the restart. Greg Murphy, Jason Bright, you can just see the car getting a little bit sideways as he gets on the power out of cold turn. Trying to preserve that left rear tyre, Larry. They all complain about it around here. You really give it a hard workout.
Oh yeah, look, it's an abrasive track, and you know, it's always on that left tyre. Now, after only a couple of laps, the tyres are growing something shocking, and you just got to persevere with them and don't slide it too much.
On board with Greg Murphy in the leading car, the Kmart Commodore. Telemetry down on the left-hand lower side of your screen tells the story. That's road speed on the analog display. Revolutions in the box there, brake applications as well. Murphy's getting a work over here from Jason Bright. And John Bow in the Aussie Bow Falcon is really climbing into contention. He's very close to this leading duo. First of the Fords, Paul Morris in 4th, David Bernard in 5th. And there are some unusual names you don't normally see in the top 10. Toward the end of this, McConville, Crompton, Cameron McLean, Brad Jones, Rodney Forbes is just outside the top 10.
Tony Longhurst in 6th position at the moment. As Larry throws his hands in the air in the commentary box here, we understand that Russell is going to get a drive-through penalty.
Yeah.
Well, that's his second penalty for a driver having to go. It's, I'm really not too much impressed with this at the moment. I felt that Stephen should have given way to Russell and not the other way around.
Radicic and Barbagallo going out at hammer and tong. Here comes Craig Lowndes, the 00 Motorsport car, but he's a lap down as a result of that incident. So he has got an awful lot of work to do. to try and climb his way back into contention for race 3.
We're down here trackside at the moment with Kmart team boss Rob Crawford. How are Greg's tyres and will they last?
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. We've roaded them this morning, so he's just playing a conservative game.
What about for the final race though, mate?
We've got another set there, so it shouldn't be a problem.
There you have it.
Yeah, Rob hasn't been off riding his motocrosser in between races. That's the new safety helmets that all the teams are wearing now as a result of an increase in pit lane safety. It's good to see the guys wearing head protection, particularly because pit lane can be a dangerous spot. This battle continues between Paul Radicic and Craig Lowndes. Lowndes is just trying to claw his way back to try and get a lap back. He's going to lap down Todd Kelly. Car 15, you saw him involved in that incident with Lowndes. He served his drive-through penalty, but now he's stranded.
Yes, I can hear it. Yes, I can hear it.
Looks like it's just coming over. Barbagallo turn as you plunge down into Cole. He's way off on the grass there. So his teammates leading this one. Here comes Lowndes, trying to fight his way through. Radicic moves over to cover his line. So a very frustrating day for Craig Lowndes in a race that really showed promise before this one started.
Yeah, I'm down at the 00 pit. The story is with Lowndes that he's so far back now. What is he, 20-something or other? And basically what he's doing is just driving around, saving the tyres as much as he can. And if somebody drops out, they drops out. If he can get some points, fair enough. And the same, Crompton's having a good run, and he's just basically looking after his tyres. And he's up to, what is he now, Crompton? 8th place. So he's not having a bad day for now.
He's having a great day.
Geez, I'd hate to see if he wasn't saving his tyres. I'd hate to see what he is up to.
Amazing, isn't it? What do you reckon of commentating then, Larry?
Well, I'd prefer to be driving, to be honest, but I'm seeing it certainly from a different angle. I've just seen Radish there blocking Lowndes the lap earlier, but Lowndes, he's got past him now.
So I guess that in terms of gets up on the curb there. I guess in terms of damage control, as Paul Radicic comes back, has he got enough there, or has Lowndes covered his line? Just up the inside, he's right alongside, just pulls the nose of the shell forward back. Barguana's in there too. There's battle groups going up right and down through the field. Here's the battle for the lead, though. We're getting close to the end. And look at Bow in the Aussie Male Falcon. He's closed right in. There's a comparison of the last 5 lap times. And you can see Bow has just been taking a little bit out of him. Sometimes 0.4 of a second. So the Aussie Male Ford is flying at the moment.
He's been consistently doing pretty much 1 minute flat, John Bow, for the last 5 or 6 laps at least. So he's got himself right in the position for a podium finish here. That's your leading group. 5 laps to go. You can hear it on the team radio. Greg Murphy leads the way. Jason Bright, then John Bow. Paul Morris is in 4th position, and it's Bernard, Longhurst, McConville, Crompton up to 8th, McLean in 9th, and Brad Jones in 10th.
Well, the VIP Pet Foods boys would be happy about that. They've had a wretched season so far. All of a sudden here, it's clicked. They've dropped in on a good setup. The car's working well. They're well inside this battle for the top 10. But this is the fight for the lead. 2 Commodores, then a Falcon. And it's John Bow, the veteran, 1995 Australian Touring Car Champion. Enormously experienced. And he's really putting that experience to good use here. The car obviously working well. Bow getting everything out of it. He tries to close the gap on these 2 leading Holdens. Down to Nova's turn, hard under brakes. Swing onto the pit straight once again. Jason Bright has not been able to find even a chink in the armour from Greg Murphy. Even though these 2 teams work under the TWR Australia umbrella, they do operate as very separate outfits. They go their own way on shocks and various things in terms of their race setup. And Murphy, by his own admission, will tell you that the Kmart team had struggled to come to terms with the Dunlop, the new Dunlop control tyre, in comparison to Holden Racing Team, but it looks like now they are starting to get a handle on it, because this car is very, very competitive.
And if you want to look ahead further to race 3, it also sets up an interesting situation, because Jason Bright finished 2nd in race 1 and Murphy finished 3rd in race 1. So these guys with Mark Scaife out of the equation in this race sets up a hell of a battle in race 3. Another 100 Ks to go to decide who will be the overall champion. Round 6 in Barbagallo. Will Scaife continue that streak? Will he fight back? Or will it belong to one of these guys? Maybe Murphy, maybe Bright, maybe a Ford can break the drought.
Well, I guess in Mark Scaife's favour, if he had to have a bad round, it had to happen in these races where you're not up against this double point situation. Only 80 points per race, so in terms of dropping out of a race, he couldn't have picked a better place to do it in terms of protecting his massive points lead. Here's Rodney Forbes having his most competitive outing in a long time. He's up in 11th. And here comes his teammate Craig Lowndes trying to wind his way through to unlap himself. But he's got an awful lot of work to do and time running out. Lap 40 of 42 for the 3-times champion.
Yeah, I'm with the Aussie Bowl team. But so, Kim, it's a good day for you so far, 3rd and 9th.
After yesterday, yeah, the Aussie Male Falcons are moving forward at a great rate of pace. Bradley's moving forward from where he started, and John's putting pressure on the 2 Holdens at the front. So hopefully the Aussie Male Falcon will move forward. We'll get a good result. Everybody's worked hard. We had great pit stops. It's just the whole team. Sorry. There's action everywhere. Well, we're now 3rd and 8, Barry.
It's not one of yours.
No, it's not one of mine, but V8 Supercars. How better racing can you get?
Well done.
Here, VB 300 is alive. That was a real disappointment for Paul Morris. He was running very strongly there, and he's just lost it right toward the end of the race. John Bowe has not been able to mount a serious challenge to these leading cars. He's just hovering around there behind Bright, but just doesn't quite have enough to be able to mount an attack. So the order at the moment is Murphy, Bright, Bowe, then a bit of a gap back to Tony Longhurst, having a very competitive run in the better electrical Ford. Cameron McConville moves up to 5th, Crompton up to 6th, Bernard in 7th, Brad Jones in 8th, Cam McLean in 9th. And Paul Morris, he's rejoined, I think, in 10th spot. We'll confirm that next time around.
They've got the debris flag out, guys, at the moment down at turn 1. They're saying that there's some dirt on the circuit, and I think that is from Paul Morris. When he's gone through in the Cirame Commodore off at the final turn, he's gotten a heap of dirt in that front spoiler and scooped a heap of it out like a tractor. And, of course, when he's hit the brakes big time at turn 1, all of it's unloaded.
Yeah, it's all sorts of drama in this race. Larry would like to, before this one finishes, thank you for joining us in commentary, and we're certainly looking forward to seeing you back in action at Oran Park and, of course, the Enduros later in the year. Well, as a result of that trap, look at the amount of dirt he dumped on the circuit.
Oh, he took it all the way down the front straight, didn't he?
So here they come. Final turn, final lap for Greg Murphy. This will be a big lift for the Kmart squad. Todd Kelly retiring from this one, but his teammate has done it beautifully.
Car number 51, Greg Murphy, becomes only the 5th man to win a race this season. His best performance of the year. The Kmart Commodore goes across the line first. Bright in 2nd. John Bowe, his best race finish for the season as well, in 3rd. The first of the Fords. Then it'll be Longhurst. Cameron McConville, what a great effort from him. Neil Crompton up in 6th. Then it's Bernard, Brad Jones, Cameron McLean comes across in 9th, and Paul Morris, is he going to hold on to 10th position, covered in dirt? But he gets across there, and he's followed by Rodney Forbes. A turnaround race, a real head spinner.
We'll be very happy about that effort. Here comes Jason Bright, moves up alongside to congratulate him, but what a great victory to Greg Murphy. Only 0.2 of a second in it at the end. John Bowe in 3rd and Tony Longhurst. Great performance from the Queenslander. Cameron McConville, equally good drive from the Melbourne driver. Neil Crompton, David Bernard, Brad Jones. Boy, those 3 drivers would be happy with that.
Certainly would be. Race 2 of round 6 of the V8 Supercar Championship. That means we've got 100 kilometres to go. This is Western Australia. Hope you're enjoying it. We'll have more right after the break. That 2-car assault has reaped the rewards here at Barbagallo. The guys who are highlighted in yellow are our movers and shakers. Cameron McConville went up 18 positions. Cameron McLean finished 9th, his first top 10 of the year. The guys who went backwards, Marcus Ambrose dropped 18 and Craig Lowndes dropped 23. Bradley Jones, he was the best mover of the day. 22 positions he moved through the field. And what about his teammate John Bowe? A podium finish for the first time this season. He's with Baz.
But you're happy with that, JB?
Well, I am, mate. I really wanted to talk to you again, and obviously to do that, you've got to get in the first 3. So here I am. No, it's great. The car was really good, and this Aussie Male team are just a sensational group of people. And, I mean, you can see how much progress we've made since the start of the year, and it's all down to their hard work and ingenuity. So, like, I'm delighted. I'm in the latter stages of my career, obviously, and I've got this great group of people and a great sponsor, so it's fantastic.
That's great, because Bradley had a good result as well, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, he came from 30th to 8th, so I mean, that has to be the drive of the century, doesn't it?
Pleased for you.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Good on you. So am I.
Well,
Thanks,
Greg
John.
Murphy, what about that? A fantastic start to the race, and the tyres held on just to the end.
Yeah, we got a demon start, but then Scafie had some incredible speed on his car. I don't know if he had up the tyre pressures or something for the first few laps or what, but it was just, I just couldn't hold him out. And then we stayed out and did some good laps, and then I flat spotted a tyre, so we came in probably a bit earlier than what we wanted to. Just a couple of safety cars probably helped the situation. You know, we were able to conserve the tyres a little bit better, and Bridie was pushing hard, and it was a good race.
What about the juggling act from here on in? You're going to go through all the tyres and figure out which are the best ones for the final race, I take it?
Yeah, we do. I think we've done a pretty good job with that, so, you know, we're pretty confident and looking forward to the last race. I think we got some good tyres.
Nice to see you smiling, mate, winning one for the year.
Yeah, it's nice to finally get that one off the back, and, you know, I tell you, leading that race and out the front there, it's pretty...